ये क्यों पॉपअप होते रहता है? ये क्या है?
भैया बैकफ्लिप मारो ना.
You don't have any shame board. Literally, you don't have any shame board.
मैंने क्या किया मैम?
Shivanshu, I know.
I'm just seeing you.
But you also are. Today was. I'm very upset with you.
Ma'am,
I'm really very upset with you today. I don't know what happened.
Influence, ma'am.
You are because you're in that one corner of the town. That's what I'm allowing.
अरे मैं तो शांत हूँ, मैं कुछ बोला भी नहीं.
Today you are na. Today you are na. Most of the time you are not na. Thank you. You're not doing me a favor. You are in the 10. You need to realize that. Why? Don't be. Drop out from school. Push out. Excuse me. You are making your own choices. You don't say parents. You must know. When you are stubborn, na, that time your parents will come. Joking. Yes. I was telling her I'm already irritated.
The man comes. This is yours. Yes.
Why do you want to torture me? You don't have any sense here. As it is, you are torturing me today with your attitude. And talk about you are torturing me with heat also. Seriously. When you are talking about attitude and all that, na, please remember, I am a teacher. I can put you down like nobody's business. Mind your language, yeah? Like how just now I gave a dose to her back.
Yes.
She knows how. I don't need to be physically violent. I can be with my words. And I can prove what.
I'm sure I can do.
Yeah, please continue. Because if I go with my lady, I will never be able to come.
And then he was watching a wrestling match and I approached him. He was around 25, a tall and fellow. And he looked easygoing, kind, and simple enough for my purpose. I hadn't had much luck of late and thought I might be able to get into a young man's confidence. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself, I said. A little flattery helps in making things. So do you, he replied, which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? Marie Singh. I know. I took a new name every month. That kept me ahead of the police and my former employers.
Why? Because he keeps on flicking from everybody. That means stealing from everybody. So here he's trying a tactic which works for him. He tries flattery and that works for him. Now here when he was watching a wrestling match, he approached him. He was about 25, a tall, lean fellow. That is the only description you have of Anil. How did he look? He was tall and lean. Lean is thin. Okay? And he was 25 years old. He looked easygoing. That is also quality. Like easygoing is when everybody like. What does easygoing mean?
But you become friends with people easily.
Who normally get along with life without, questioning people. Easygoing is that you will not question people. You will accept that kind of accepting attitude. That is all easygoing. Okay. And time simple enough for my purpose. What was his purpose? To see. That was his purpose. Right? So simple enough for my purpose. I hadn't had much luck of late and thought I would be able to get into the young man's confidence. So he had tried it luck. So right now it was not working for him. That he wanted to see, but like all his so whoever he was trying to see, it was not working out. So he said this person looks like an easy target. Okay? Yes. You look and then how does he start? Because this tactic. Please both of you stand up and go. Close your book and go. Who are the sat? Thank you. I have done me a favor. Now go out. You want to concentrate. Don't play with your fingers and look at what I'm saying. Because answers when you write, you have to write with what I have explained, not from the textbook itself. So he says, the flattery helps in making friends. So this was his, he's learned in life that if you flatter somebody, then it helps you to become friends with that person. Okay, that kind of tactics. So do you, he replied, which would be off for a moment. Put me off because it threw him out of his stride. He didn't ask him to ask him another question. He didn't expect that Anil would ask him a question. Understood? So he said, "Do you like tire?" When he says, "You look like a bit wrestler," so do you. You know, he's looking a 15-year-old boy. He says, and he also, why he said it put me off a moment, because at that time he was rather thin. So you know, when Anil says you also look like a wrestler, for a minute he was taken aback. Why did he say? Because I am so thin. So he was not ready for him flattering him back. Understood? Well, I said modestly. What modesty means? Everything's truthfully. What? Humbly. Everything cannot be truthful. Why are we arriving at truthful? Rubbish. I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? Hari Singh, I like. I took a new name, Erin. So it talks about how he is insecure. He knows that he will be caught. He knows that I will be in trouble. So that's why he doesn't give his original name. So even here, he doesn't give his original name. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting and throwing each other. Remember, there was a wrestling match going on, which Anil was watching. So you get a glimpse of it. You know how it is a well-oiled wrestler. It doesn't mean that his body was oiled. What does well-oiled wrestlers mean? Sorry? Sorry?
Now, like, you know, when they wrestling, that's sort of grease on them.
That's what I said. You are not talking about oil body or muscular body. What does a well-oiled wrestler mean?
Strong.
Strong. It has two meanings. There are two. One is literal, yes, which is well-oiled, his body is oiled, but one is figurative also.
Strong.
Like when I say you work like a well-oiled machinery, do I mean that you're strong only?
Easily.
When I use well-oiled machinery, you work like a well-oiled machinery, what do I mean? Efficiently. Expert in doing what you are doing. Understood? Every time a phrase with a certain noun it has a particular meaning. It can be a literal one also, it can be a figurative one also. Well-oiled machinery, when I say that means work expertly in that way. Understood? So here well-oiled wrestlers here means they know their trade, they know that particular skill, the game, and they are working like that. They were grunting, lifting and throwing each other about. Wrestling match, you know, they are supposed to throw the opponent down, correct? Hold their legs. Yeah. I didn't have much to say and he walked away and I followed casually. He started the conversation but he couldn't continue with the conversation. Understood? So, and Anil walked away. So, I followed casually. So, when Anil saw him follow casually, Anil said hello again. He said, I gave him my most appealing smile. So he gave him a smile as if like he knew it was not a genuine smile. Like he wants to gain favor of somebody. You know, you give your mother that kind of smile. When you want money, you want something, you will give your mother a smile which will look genuine, but you know your intention is not genuine. Understood? You got a difference. When you want something from someone.
So you will need to suddenly do the household chores and study just to get what we need.
Agree, but I'm talking about a smile, not
yes,
the chores.
and we like act very genuine.
Yeah, you act very genuine. So that kind of smile you give, which is not genuine at all. Okay? I gave my most appealing smile. I want to work for you. I said, but he said, I want to work for you. Hari said, I want to work for you. But now this is directly. Anil is directly saying, I can't pay you, but I can't pay you because he couldn't afford to pay you. He himself was struggling like that. So how can he stay? And he's been very honest with him. Directly in the forthright, he's been very forthright that I cannot pay you. Directly out there. I thought that over for a minute and perhaps I misjudged well. So he said, oh, I must have misjudged him because this person can't pay me, I can't steal from him. He will not have enough money for me to steal. So I must have misjudged this person. I thought he'll have some money which I can steal, but I have misjudged this person. I asked, can you feed me? He said, okay, let me make another one. Can you feed me? He's asking her. Can you cook? I can cook. I like it. So first, first time he's asking, can you feed me? Change the tactic. Now give me. Okay, give me food. If you can't pay me money, give me food. So Anil says, okay, can you cook? So he says, I can cook. That we like. Now, why I'm stressing this over again? Look at the next slide. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. Anil made a condition that if you can cook, then I can feed you. He took me to his room to Jamuna sweet shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible because Anil gave it to a stray dog and told me to be off. He lied to Anil and Anil gave him a chance. You know, normally people don't give him a chance. So you find Anil as a person who is ready, as I said, easy going of word which was used, who is ready to give a chance, not forgiving. This is not forgiving. This is when he is ready to give a chance. Now when he gives cooks, Anil says, you can't cook, please go out. You leave my house and go. Because that was the condition he placed. And he was very straightforward that this, you can cook, then I will feed you. But if you can't cook, then he said, you can go on your way. Understood? So that's why he said, Anil is very straightforward. But I just hang around smiling in my most appealing way and he couldn't help laughing. So he tried to get favor from Anil. He says, no, don't kick me. Like he didn't say anything. He kept on smiling and Anil said, okay, he gave in to him. You can stay. Even though he couldn't cook. So Anil said, you can stay. Later he patted me on my head and said, never mind, he'll teach me how to cook. So Anil didn't immediately chase him away. He says, okay, I'll teach you how to cook. So he gave him a second chance. Okay. He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. So he keeps on giving him chances. He keeps on teaching him. He doesn't give up on him. He keeps on being helpful and that kind of motivating that person's esteem. What we call as self-esteem. No, he keeps on adding to his knowledge and pushing that. That is very important quality to have. Because if you can help others gain that self-esteem, that is, you have achieved something in life. Instead of putting somebody down. I was grateful. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. And he knew this. He was intelligent enough to understand, Hari. He was intelligent enough to understand that if I get a chance to read and write, I can become somebody great in my life. I won't have to rely on stealing. It cannot be my profession throughout my life. I can change. Understood? Even that kind of thought is there in a person. The person is bound to change. That person can make an effort to change. When you recognize the potential and what can help me in my future, what can help me get a brighter future, if that kind of thought comes in your mind, you are ready to learn. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made the tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supply, usually making a profit of about ₹1 a day. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. So Anil, you come to know later in the chapter, Anil knew that he was taking ₹1. Like every day he would go to buy vegetables, buy fruits and all that, and ₹1 he would save and he would keep it. And he would keep that money. So he's stealing because if he's not informing Anil, then he's stealing. He's still doing that. But Anil did not mind. He went, this time passed, they grew into kind of friendly relation and affection grew between them. So Anil did not mind. He can be doing chores around the house and all that, and they carried out amiably. Okay, very amiable relation they had. There was no discord in it. Now, where the discord came was, what is discord, right? Where the problem came was when. Yes. Sorry. You said something, chat. Something. Discord. And you all use the app for what?
Talking.
Unlike internet, it is the software where we can stream listen to a software, talk with at the same time. Like the song would be, I would want an song.
No, this is the first time I'm hearing about Discord.
That's like if you like invite your friends, you can create group chat.
That will be in every group.
So Discord is like kind of like it was really
I
popular.
mean, it's a bit advanced to like
Yeah.
something.
And it became very popular during the lockdown
Yes,
time.
ma'am.
But what is the function of here?
I'm like it is
Video
mainly
chat,
like by gamers and all like
Yes, ma'am.
while like they are in this same time they talk in the chat app.
Yeah, okay. Like,
Okay,
streaming and
Like in you usually talk
And
on
you can see
Instagram and like then play game and it will like automatically back out.
So it's like even if I'm playing game on the laptop, I can play the video chat with my friends on Discord. It kind of supports that. It's like a group chat, and then we can just put gaming, streaming games.
I think that was the
Ma'am,
main
we can also make Discord servers.
Yes.
But Discord, you will have to be Discord.
I think an app.
Yes, Discord is basically an argument or
I'm
a
like
discussion.
many people can join that so like thousands.
I understood what your point is. It was majorly used by users
Yes.
simultaneously. I understood that. My nephews used to use it. I never heard about the app, but now I understood. Alright. So Anil made money by fits and starts. What do I mean by fits and starts? Small. Like you never used to get a huge salary. Small things you must be selling. Small poems, small. So you would get that money or publish an article. You know, those are the money which is not going to suffice you for the whole month or the whole year. Little bit money here, little bit money there. So fits and starts that is. He would borrow, one day lend the next. So one day he would borrow and one day somebody would ask him to lend money, he would lend. So this kind of person who is not money minded, who's not counting money, is willing to give somebody help and is willing to take help also. Okay? He would keep worrying about his next step, but as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. So kind of a spendthrift person who would like when he doesn't have money, he'll be worrying about when the money will come. And then when he gets the money, he's going and celebrating with his friend. So the value for him, money for value is not there. He doesn't value his money like that. It seems he wrote for Maxine's a pure way of to make a living. Pure, strange. One evening he came home with a small bundle of notes saying he just sold a book to a publisher. At night I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. So now this became a temptation factor. He's a thief. Personally, he's a cell phone thief. He's put the money. So that is one thing which is putting a carrot in front of a rabbit. Right? If you put it's like this dangling this rabbit, the rabbit is going to come and eat it, right? So he says, I'm a thief, I'm a self-proclaimed thief. I know that he brought this bundle of money, it is a temptation for him. And he says, I had been working for Anil for almost a month, and apart from cheating on the shopping, so he is cheating, that means he's robbing when he goes shopping, had done nothing in my line of work. He's saying that has been my occupation. Line of work is my occupation. Stealing is my occupation. I had only taken a 1 rupee per day. I had every opportunity for doing so. He's such a careless person that with his money, he doesn't care for money, he's careless with money. He will not, like when he doesn't have it, he worries for it, and when he has it, he is celebrating with that money. So he's going to waste that money. So why tell me I should steal it? That was his persuading his brain that this is what I should do. Okay? Anil had given me a key of the door. I could come and go as I please. And the most trusting person I have ever. So he blindly trusted Hari. Anil blindly trusted Hari. He's given him the house keys. There is no restrictions on him. He can come and go wherever he wants. And plus in front of him, he's kept the money. So you find that Anil is blindly trusting him. Anil is teaching him. So everything Anil is doing for him, it will catch on by a tree. It will catch on to Hari later. Okay. That is why it was so difficult to rob him. So he has second thoughts. You know, when you don't know a person and the person you don't know that you are betraying the person's trust, as stranger you are doing, you will not regret your actions. But if you are doing it to somebody you know and the person who trusts you, it is very difficult because the conscience will kill you. Everything, remember, always have a conscience. We may do the worst to worst sins, but the conscience conscience is one which will never let you forget that you have done this thing to that person. Even if you have slapped a person, you will never ever forget that you have slapped the person. Because that kind of guilty conscience will never let you rest. Remember that. That is the one thing which will trick you and trick you and trick you. And then that will also be a turning factor. It happened with me, so I'm telling you, it is a turning factor.
Mama once broke the pellet my brother.
And after that, you never ever fought with your brother or used.
After the beaten.
Yeah, beaten very fast, but that was not the reason why you never did it. It's something because you were guilty. See, guilt is a very strong factor. That's why I said you are not coming to the correct point. Guilt is a very good motivator also to stop you from doing something. If you have done, I have done it. I scolded somebody and I brought tears to the person's eyes. That's why I know how I can with my words. I can use my words to make the other person cry. I can have that ability. I know. Because words you will never forget.
That's what I feel.
So that guilt kills you. And I know that every person feels guilty in that. Alright. Because that's why you're sort of becoming robber. It's easy to rob a greedy man. So he says if the man is greedy, it's very easy to rob him. But because he can afford to be robbed. Because the person is only hoarding. You have to see a greedy man will always keep on collecting. So he feels like that person can be easily robbed. He will not have any kind of guilty conscience. But it is difficult to rob a careless man. So why he couldn't rob? Because he's a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he has been robbed and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. So he says he doesn't realize that he's being robbed. So if he doesn't realize, what pleasure will I get? What pleasure will I get from stealing? Stealing was money is there, but the person realizing that the person not realizing he has been robbed, so what pleasure will you get? Except for money will within a span of time.
So it is like very good, right? Like you can
It is like an
that person
addiction.
again and again.
It is an addiction for that. Yeah, stealing is an addiction. See, that addiction is there, but you know that you're harming the other person, and the person has realized that it's missing something. You're stealing from that person. So you are somebody get that satisfaction. Oh, I have stolen from the person who knows that I have stolen from. But if the person doesn't realize, he says, what pleasure will I get from it? When it's time I did some real work, I told myself. So he's convincing himself, oh, now is the time for me to steal. Now is the time I have to prove myself that I'm a thief. So that way. I'm out of practice. So he says, it's been 1 month I have not stolen a large amount. I only 1 rupee have stolen, so I'm out of practice. Well, and if I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on friends. So Naga is trying to convince, see, here also he's struggling. He's struggling to convince himself. So giving him various reasons. He's a careless person. He will not realize that he's been robbed, so the pleasure gone out of the job. Then he's saying that I'm out of practice. I have not stolen for a month, so I'm out of practice. So again, that's why the struggling with his conscience is visible here also. And the thing is, if I don't take the money, he will waste the money on his friends. So this is the third argument he says. Okay, he'll waste the money on his friends. So after all, he doesn't even pay me. The fourth argument, he doesn't even pay me. So why should I not steal from him?
I'm trying to convince himself.
Yeah, he's struggling. You can see through his dialogues that he's struggling. He's trying to get that motivation to take that money which was there in front of his eyes, which was as if stealing from a child. Because Anil kept it under the pillow and he could have easily slipped his hand under the pillow and taken it, done it. But to make that decision to steal, it's a struggle because he's struggling with his conscience. Because Anil had treated him very well. Anil treated him like a friend, like a family member. So that's what that struggle of conscience comes in. So here that's why he tried to convince himself that these are the reasons I should steal. Anil was asleep. Now finally he decided to steal. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the. Now here moonlight has been personified. Personification. Moonlight doesn't step. So a beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. So you can see the moonlight shining on the bed. So he had enough light. Perfect atmosphere. You have a light coming through. It's on the Anil's lying on the pillow. You can have light to see what to take, when to take. I sat on the floor considering the situation. So he was thinking about the situation. So he knew, like if I'm saving the money, there is a train which goes to Lucknow, which is at 10:30. I can catch that train. Slipping out of the blanket and crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Talks about he was sleeping like a baby. When is a face clear and unlined is when you don't have any troubles in life and you don't have to have a saintly, I can say saintly kind of temperament. Who's who doesn't have any worries and troubles in the world. Only those kind of people have this
This story is real or
It's Ruskin Ball's story. It is not a real story, it's a fiction story. But it talks about how day to day, how life changes, right? How certain circumstances can change you. So I crept, slipping out of the blanket, kept walking to where it says peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. There's no trouble, no worries, no tension on his face. Unlined is no tension on his face. Even I had no marks on my face, though mine was mostly scars. So he said, he's a 15-year-old, Anil is 25, 10 years difference. He says, Anil doesn't have any kind of tension, any kind of wrinkles on his face. But I have, who was a 15-year-old, I have scars on my face and I have a lot of tension in my life. Contrast between Anil and Hari, the contrast is visible. My hand slid under the mattress searching for the notes, and when I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Knows his profession, he slips it in and slips it out with the money. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. So, when his sleep you turn, and he's turned and he was startled, he was shocked for a second. So, he quickly crawled out of the room. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the string of my pajamas. So that's how he tucked it in and he had tied it with the string so that the money doesn't fall out. Because he was running, right? So he doesn't have a wallet, he doesn't have anything, he just tucked it in his pajamas. I slowed down to walk and counted the rupees. 600 in 50s. So 600 rupees in 50s was a lot at that particular time. I could live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. So he's compared himself to an Arab who makes oil. They are so rich. So he's compared that I can live like a king for a week or two. So that's how much 600 rupees would take him in those days. That means it's not based now. 600 rupees here, you will still be in that pauper position. 600 rupees nothing.
at that time, like in 7 rupees, you could go from
Yeah, at that particular, so the value of money. Yes.
7 rupees.
Yes.
Great.
1 rupee you would get 10 kgs rice and I think so 5 kgs wheat. 10 kgs.
can eat like
Yeah, because that was banana, 2 anna, 3 annas, like that it was. You had a 25 paisa coin, you had a 20 some coin, you have a 50 paisa coin, you had a 1 rupee coin. That was my age. But my I've seen 50 paisa, I've seen 25 paisa, and I have seen 1 rupee coin. That is my age. Those at those particular time. But my parents' age, they had this 1 anna, 2 anna, 3 anna, and in 1 rupee you get the whole ration of your house. At that particular time. So traveling also was like 7 rupees, you can easily travel. And this those see
What time 600 rupees would be so much?
2 weeks he says, so means yeah, not so much in the sense he says if I would live luxury for a week or two. So 600 rupees go for a week. Your 600 wouldn't last for half a day. So 1 week is 2 days. Then he says, when I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life. He's a robber, so he never picks up a ticket. So he goes into the train and gets into it. But dashed straight to the platform. So he ran directly to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. So it was just moving out, that means it was just leaving the platform. So the speed of the train is less. So he says, the train was still to pick up speed and I should have been able to jump into the carriages, but I hesitated. He hesitated. For some reason I can't explain. Right now he's not come to the realization of what happened. Okay. So he's still struggling to grasp He couldn't jump into the train. He could have easily jumped into the train, but he couldn't jump into the train because something held him back. And I lost the chance to get away. And the train then picked up speed and it went there. So he lost his chance. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. The platform, no persons were there on the platform. It was deserted. He lost his chance. He could have easily escaped, but he lost his chance. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than him. So he had never made any friends. Didn't have anybody to go to. So he was standing all alone at the platform. And I did not want to make anyone curious for staying at one of the small hotels near the station. Looking at his attire, people would have definitely said where he got that money. So he didn't want some to raise suspicion of another people, okay, another person from there. So you never want to raise suspicions and I can't stay in a hotel also. So then the only person I really knew well was the man I had robbed. So Anil was the only person he knew who was kind of a friend, who was kind of his family. So that leaving the station I walked slowly through the bazaar. In my short career as a thief, he's 15-year-old. He began early. So in a short career of thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they lost their goods. Whenever he robbed, he would look at the faces and he would see some people were angry, some people were frustrated. So he said the greedy man showed fear. So greedy man, because he keeps on holding, so he lost, if he's robbed from him, so will show fear because people will know that he had so much. Yes or no? What does a greedy man do? He keeps on gathering money. So if from that person, if the thief show fear, black market is this one. They sometimes buy that online system is Paytm is come and all that is come. Na? So why the 500 rupees note was discontinued? We had a 1,000 rupees note was discontinued all that. Because what people used to do, the people would collect money, the shopkeepers and all that, and they would not, instead of depositing in the bank, they would keep it at home. And that money they will use to buy things and like buy gold and all that. The government would not know, na? Because if it is not deposited in the bank and you are not declaring it in the income tax, how will the government know that how much you are earning per month? For example, you are earning 50,000 per month, okay, but you are only showing that you are earning 30,000 and 20,000 you hide and keep. So that is so that is your black money.
So according to that, like whatever money we have at home, all that.
No, because that is accounted for. Because those are salaried people. That goes in a car.
Like for a business or like
for a business and all that, if you are not declaring, yes.
And they are prone to losing their businesses and everything.
Yeah.
Now it happened like recently to like a person in my building. So they were like hiding money and everything. And then the police found out that, and he gambled almost all of the money away. So the police found out it was a literal international basis.
Yeah.
So then he had to leave Dubai, and now every 2 weeks he's changing wherever he's living. And the family has lost all of the money, and they had a son in Germany. He had to come back and like get it. They were like very rich.
That's what I'm saying, because that is what it is. If you don't pay your taxes and you declare less income, you're cheating the government. And if you're cheating the government and the income tax person comes to know, department comes to know, then you are gone. Then you're gone for life. Why is Vijay Mallya running? Because he had frauded the government in crores. Who is Vijay Mallya? Actor कहाँ से हो गया? He had this airlines.
Jet Airways.
I think Jet Airways. Yeah.
RCB.
He had a this one.
It's for my dad too.
Yeah, he had, and he's on the run. He's taken, he's bought some other countries. This one. He's hiding in some other country because he's frauded the country.
That country is supporting him.
Yeah.
Because he is giving money.
Money.
You know that person in my building, they used to like his wife when she used to go out for like lunch and everything, she used to custom make 80,000 rupees dresses just for having lunch.
And now you have money.
And now they've gone to like a very corner of a village and they're making a very smart house.
That is that na money goes to your head.
Black money.
That's what I said. Money goes to your head. And coming back to this.
Yes.
So
Ma'am, if we suppose we karna
What's
like
your
money,
if you play Kaun Banega Crorepati, you become a crorepati. You have to
no,
give
like by gambling.
20% of it has to go to the government.
Ma'am, mostly one money
Yeah,
is
yes,
Whether it is paid, then whatever amount the winner gets, that also out of that 25% goes to the government tax. Alright, in my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's face and they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger. The rich man, correct, but he will show anger because his hard earned money has gone. The poor man shows the poor man shows acceptance. If I rob from the poor, he says, they like this is my destiny. Understood? The rich man will say, I have earned this, why is that person robbed it? So he's very angry, very furious. And the other person, because the poor man always suffers. He keeps on suffering. So the poor man says like this acceptance. Understood? Like this happens to me every time. So nothing new in life. No, but that is the reality. Why do they हमारे साथ ही होना था? Like, that is the same attitude and they go on with life. Because they don't fight back and say, yeah, why this happened?
Not like it is very practical that we find I don't find that. But like the time they are raised in like courts and all, they can earn it.
But you need to understand that the poor man is always suffering. You need to understand that. And that's what life teaches them that you have to accept and move on. And they always are miserable. Basically, they always, like, whatever problems happens with them. You see, the government ignores a poor man. You see how they treat. You talk about like you yourself, you will ignore that person when you are living a luxurious life. You will ignore the person when the person is asking for help. If I have done it, but I feel very guilty of doing it. But why? Because sometimes you don't know whether they are genuine or whether they are like taking up tales. That is one thing which I'm always tired about, especially with children. With children, I try to help. But when I talk about children, old people, I get tired with it. They
Our
are
government is also like very biased. The government doesn't take like
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Now you see about the accident case. Now the rich man has escaped, but the person whose family members died, he's been penalized, isn't it? So it's that life has always been unfair with them. That's why the acceptance part of it. So he's stating the fact of life, nothing else. Hari is stating the fact of life. This is how the life is. And then he says, but I knew that Anil faced when he discovered the truth. And he knew Anil because he stayed with Anil for a month. He would judge Anil how Anil is. He says, would show only a touch of sadness. Anil will not regret the money he's taken, but he will feel a touch of sadness because Hari has gone the wrong way. Hari has taken a wrong way. He says, not for the loss of money, but the loss of trust. So why will Anil feel sad? It's not because he lost the money, but because Hari has done something wrong and he will lose his trust and he has betrayed him. And this is that. I found myself in the Maidan and sat on a bench. That night was chilly, it was early November and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. So it was already winter time, November time, we're talking about it winter time, and plus it was drizzling a little. So drizzling means your clothes become wet and it becomes more colder. Remember, your clothes are wet, the body already is cold and the wet clothes already adds. Yeah. Soon it was raining quite heavily and my shirt and my pajamas stuck to my skin and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. So wet, already wet, skirt and pajamas are sticking and plus the cold wind is blowing. So you can imagine when you don't have any jacket or any like shawl to wrap around, you're already chilled to the bone. So it was very, very uncomfortable for me. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of a clock tower. Clock tower, I just not showed you what is a clock tower. And the clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes and they were damp from the rain. So he was feeling that is the note still there and he's sitting in the clock. Because he couldn't have the courage to go back to that house and he has not made up his mind. Like what should I do? Because he, as I said, he has not come to the realization because something was pricking his conscience. But what it was, he didn't realize that. Okay, and he knew that like this Anil would like would feel betrayed. He will feel sad that this Hari has done this after him doing so much for her. Anil's money, and then he he's holding that when he says it's Anil's money, it's not his money now. It is still Anil's money. He's robbed it. Practically it's his money, right? But it is saying it's Anil's money. In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema, but now I had it for him. So he knew his habit. He would have given me 2 or 3 rupees because he was generous that way. Is it 2 or 3 rupees, and you can go to the watch a movie. Cinema is movies, right? I couldn't cook his meals, ran to the bazaar and learned to write whole sentences in movies. And now I lost the chance to do all this. Cook his meal and go to the bazaar and learn to write sentences. I had forgotten them in the excitement of the theft. So now he's coming to the realization. He forgot that it was teaching him to read and write. So he said that forgotten him in the excitement because the temptation was there and he fell for the temptation. Whole sentences I knew would one day bring me more than a few hundred rupees. He said, education can change me. You can get that. So he said it would bring me more than those few hundred rupees. It was a simple matter to steal and sometimes just as simple to be caught. It's very easy to steal and it is very easy to get caught. But get caught, your whole life changes. Because your whole life gets destroyed, right? Because you go to jail and then you are always running for your life. You're never at peace that way. But to be really a big man, not big man in stature or size. Big man is somebody important and respectful. Respected. A clever and respected man was something else, and that was he felt that he could be like that. Somebody who's respected by the society and accepted by the society, and somebody who he could be clever. Okay, I should go back to Anil. I told myself, if only to read and write, and that is first of his convincing argument that I should go back to Anil. I hurried back to the room, feeling nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. So it's easy to see, it's easier to slide your hand and take it out, but it's very difficult to slide your hand back because of head pressure or anything. So anything to return back undetected, means unnoticed, is very difficult. I opened the door quietly and stood in the doorway in the cloudy moonlight. And he was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand, reached and put it under the pillow and could feel his breath on his hand. I remained still for a moment and then my hand found the edge of the mattress, slipped it under with the note. So he slipped, he was sleeping and he tried on the pillow and tried to slip it under the mattress. I woke late next morning to find Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hands towards me. There was a 50 rupees note between his fingers. He didn't expect Anil to give 50 rupees. And when Anil gave him 50 rupees, my heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. Yes. So he thought that Anil is giving 50 rupees and he must be telling me he steal from here because I know that what you have done. Understood? That was his expectation. That's why, he thought that he was discovered.
Why did he give? Why did he give?
Because Anil was generous. Now look at that. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now he will be paid regularly. So he's giving him 50 rupees as a salary because he was cooking for him, right? So he gave him as a salary. But what he did, he didn't expect that. He thought he was discovered and Anil said, take the money and go away from him because he stole from him. You were trying to steal from him. My spirit rose, but when I took the money, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. He realized that the notes also got wet, so he said he was still wet. Today we'll start writing sentences, he said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way. The smile came by itself without an effort. This was the first genuine smile he gave. He was not trying to gain anything. He was not trying to ask him anything or want anything from him, but this was the first time he genuinely smiled. And he knew that Anil knew that he stole because the money was there. But Anil, without commenting on it, he just gave him the money and he said, "This is your salary." They are very rare. You find people like Anil very rare. That will give you chances after chances after chances. And you know, when you meet these kind of people, you should value these kind of people because you will never get somebody who will genuinely accept you for who you are, except for your parents. Who will genuinely accept you for who you are. It is very rare instance you find people like that. You find people like Hari everywhere, who will try to steal from you everything. And I'm not talking about money as an actual stealing or being a robber, but I'm talking about stealing opportunities, stealing your friends, stealing your food, not food for your. That is not stealing. That is sharing is caring. That you should be.
But they would try to rob our happiness.
Yes, and I think we what time? 3 minutes more.
Yes.
3 minutes more.
Yes,
Please tell me, honestly,
next 20 to 20.
8 minutes more.
20 को आई थी ना तो
7 minutes more.
7.
I'm
now we can debate.
Yes.
अरे हाथ बोला कि 6-15
Take out your book.
I will start this midnight.
No, take out
But a
your
very small camera is very nice.
I know.
We will show PPT at least, then we'll need it for the next class. Yes, ma'am. Next.
You guys want to take shortcuts in life, it's not good. You know that, na? You know that, you don't know that. The midnight visitor.
Don't know.
So,
Is it like a pillar?
Yes.
With Adi.
I think
Ma'am, with the X on top also. Over there.
Chill.
So the story revolves, please read my editing for this.
The story revolves around three characters. Two characters named Oscibil and Max. And one mystery writer Fowler. Oscibil is a chubby, lethargic, messy and clumsy man.
This is a character sketch of Possible.
While Max is slender and rugged.
Rugged.
Ma'am, but Oscibil wasn't clumsy. Oscibil wasn't clumsy.
Possible was clumsy.
Now what is
Very
very
clumsy.
smart?
Sorry?
He was smart.
He was clever. Who says clever people can't be clumsy? I was clumsy. I'm not clever.
You are.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't ask for you to praise me, but yes, thank you.
Excellent.
Lethargic is very lazy, laid back. Like we have characters here. Yeah, that's what we have at Slack. Characters here.
And practical levels.
Yeah, we have practical examples.
Yes.
क्या बोल रहे
कुछ बोल रहे थे. We don't know what we are talking.
आलसी
You are extremely lethargic.
Then,
As I said,
Ma'am, he is savvy.
I have said I have practical examples of these particular characteristics in this class.
I am very rugged.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of
Ragged
rabbit?
is laughing.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of
Ragged
rabbit?
is laughing.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of
Love,
rabbit?
love, वही तो observing
Alright, the story is short but intriguing.
अरे झगड़ा क्यों?
As glamorous as in the movies, but still full of danger and suspense. Suspense.
Read. You.
from where
From where? I don't know from where.
It's possible.
Awesome.
possible meets law for
Fowler.
a writer fascinated by
When I was explaining that, then you're very chit-chatting. Chit-chats.
spy and serious possible was reflecting a sensitive document to arrive that night. And so asked Fowler to follow him through the night. Disappointed at obstacle appearance and
Powder.
See, appearance can be deceptive. It's like this. Possible is very clumsy, as in he keeps like keep on dropping things and keep on dashing with balls.
Fowler.
Fowler was a reporter.
A writer.
Yes. And Oswald was supposed to be a spy. Okay? But when Fowler looked at his appearance, as his appearance can be very deceptive, he feels that his appearance and mannerism, like how can he be a spy? That questioning, how can he be that? So Fowler agrees to do the same thing.
Suddenly, Fowler gets a phone call regarding someone who had entered the house. Alarmed but not overly worried, he beckons Fowler to follow them.
Yeah, so he tells him to follow him to room.
The room was in sixth floor. As they enter the room, they are startled by the crystal turning fountain, the individuals staring at them.
So when they enter the room, he was holding out the pistol and aiming at them. Pistol holding is basically he's aimed the pistol towards them. It is Max.
It is Max and Daniel spy of Occidental. He asks them to enter and lock the room. He threatens Occidental and wants him to hand over the document to them as soon as they arrive at his room later that night. Playing rather composed, Occidental sits down and complains about the balcony window that he of Max used to be there.
So he's quick thinking. Oswald is quick thinking, and he was not rattled. You're not rattled. Why is it you lock it? You need to think on your feet. That's also one quality you have to learn. And also to think that everybody knows that the life is in danger. You start panicking. Your brain doesn't supply any answer. But he didn't react. He was very calm, and then he started complaining about in the balcony window that he thought Max had used to break into his room.
They want you in a long hand spread.